What's up, everybody? My name is Brian. This video that I'm gonna be doing, it's gonna be a little bit different than other videos that you will variously find on YouTube. I kind of wanted to start a channel. Mainly, it's gonna be family oriented. It's gonna be about my car, which I'll post in a later video. And also, it's gonna be revolving around inspirational quotes. Me personally, I feel like I'm a person who has been through a lot. I've seen a lot, I've experienced a lot. I'm only 21, and I can only just say with confidence that all of the experiences and just trials and tribulations of life that I've endured at this point are definitely beyond my years. And I just feel like that I'm someone that can speak and see through to other people. I feel like that when I say something and when I do something, I feel like that people see the emotion and the power behind it. And that's something that I wanna bring into the world more, is inspiration and just connecting with other people. I love connecting with other people. I love meeting new people. And like I said, when I post this later video and you see my car, you'll see that too. It's a beauty. But I want to just start by giving a little background on myself. I'm someone, I come from a basic, simple family. Me, my mom, my dad, my sister, my brother, everyone that I'm mentioning, you'll get to see at a later point too. But, one of the very first inspirational quotes I guess I'll start out with is definitely knowing yourself. People talk about knowing their self, being themselves, being comfortable in their own skin, but to say that and to do that, to make an example of those words and to put meaning behind those words are two different things. And me I am gay, so just want to break the ice, and I want to be a frank, upfront person. I want people to know who I am, for me, not for what I'm trying to put on YouTube, not for what I'm trying to promote, none of that. I want you to know who I am for me. And one of the things that I will say, especially, I didn't start out, I didn't come out up front as gay. I came out as trans, and that was like one of the hardest things I could have done in my life. Like, especially growing up in the house that I did. It wasn't that my parents were homophobic or anything. It was just mainly that, not a lot of, obviously no parent is gonna say, oh, I want my child to be gay. So when you do realize you have a gay child, you realize that you need a much more subtle, different approach. And I will say that I definitely had that factor. I had support. I had people in my corner. I had people who, and no matter what, they didn't care who I was. They just wanted to see me happy and see me live my life. And one of the things that I will say is that being gay in this world, in today's society, is definitely hard. You feel ridiculed, you feel judged, you feel categorized, and I just feel like personally, with everything that I've seen, everything that I've been through, one of the main factors that you can implement in your daily, day-to-day life to make yourself much more comfortable in your own skin, honestly, it's just simply a simple talk with yourself, just looking in the mirror and telling yourself, I am amazing. I love myself for me. You shouldn't care what other people say. That's one of the main things that I worry about, especially, when I came out as trans. That was one of the very first things, was making sure that I'm presentable, because, it's something that we tend to not think about, but it is true. As people, we consider the thought that someone else, might just be judging you. Someone else might be looking at you from a different angle. Someone else might be looking a little bit closer at things, and that's something that we overlook, because in our daily lives, if you're not someone who's judging yourself, closely with a microscope, you're someone who's overlooking things and overthinking things. And a lot of the times those are the factors that can inhibit you, in a sense, from being, the best you can be. And, I get it. People are going to look at me and be like, why would I listen to you? Who are you? But, I promise you, this is what I want to do. I want to talk to people. I want to open up to people. I want to connect with the world. And it's like, I know that that's not going to be easy. I know it's people who aren't going to want to hear what I have to say. There are people who aren't going to truly care what I have to say. There are people who are even, to a degree, they're going to feel that what I have to say doesn't matter. But I disagree. I feel like everything that I say has a purpose behind it. I feel like everything that I do, I have a purpose behind it. And inspiration is one of my biggest goals. You know, I love inspiring people. I love taking the foundation that people stand on and making it stronger, or helping them embrace that foundation more. You know, that's definitely something that, you know, I was raised to do. I was raised to recognize the good in people. You know, I don't see people for the flaws and the what they've been through. You know, I see people for who they are and how they've bounced back from it. And, you know, those are qualities that, you know, I feel we all should look for in our fellow man and fellow woman. You know, I feel like that's something that we all could, in a sense, just, you know, take a closer look at, you know. And like I said, you know, back to getting into the inspirational thing, you know, looking in the mirror, telling yourself you are the best person you can be, and moving forward beyond that in your day-to-day life. Just telling yourself, no matter what happens, I know I'm an amazing person. You know, Christina Aguilera made a song, it's called Beautiful. And I mean, I love that song. You know, she hit the nail on the head. You know, you are beautiful in every single way. And it's true. You know, as people, especially in today's world where you got people, social media beat you down, you know, nobody gives you the credit that you deserve. And it's like, you have to learn to give that credit to yourself. You can't wait on someone else to uplift you and bring that joy into your day. You know, that's something that you have to see for yourself. You know, you have to want to be that person that you aspire to be. You have to put forth the effort to make that change so that it's possible for that to happen. You know, I was always told as a kid growing up, be the change in the world that you want to see. And, you know, that never really meant anything to me. You know, I'm just going to be honest. I was like, okay, what do you mean be the change I want to see? So if the change that I want to see is world hunger, what am I going to do? Like, you know, I mean, I can't feed the world, you know, but that wasn't what that saying meant. And when I thought about it, I was like, you know, the change that I want to see in the world is I want to see more inspiration. I want to see people uplift other people. And I want to uplift other people. You know, I really do. You know, I really think that my words, the fact that, you know, when I speak to someone, you know, I'm not looking at you and judging you. I'm not looking at you for what you've been through. I'm not looking at you for what you've done. You know, I'm looking at you for who you are, who you stand before me as. You know, that's how we should be viewed as people. We should be viewed as how we present ourselves as we live, as we are. You know, not for what I've been through, you know, a couple years ago and what I experienced with my cousin. You know, everybody's going to experience something. Everybody's going to go through something. But the defining point is what you do behind what you've been through, is what you do to bounce back, to draw yourself and center yourself back into reality so that you don't succumb to the fact that, you know, you hit a speed bump. You know, that speed bump doesn't mean anything. You know, it's just an obstacle. You know, it's 1,000,001 obstacles in this world. It's 1,000,001 obstacles in your day-to-day life. But that should never be the defining point or the turning point of your sanity, of your day-to-day happiness. You know, there's always going to be some type of test. There's always going to be some type of trial. There's always going to be some type of something that's going to come your way, and it's going to test your integrity. And the first thing that you have to tell yourself is, you know, integrity is one of those things where if I'm standing on the ground and both my feet are firmly rooted into the ground, you know, naturally it's going to be really hard to knock that object over, right? Because, you know, you're on a solid foundation. Well, it's essentially the same with your character. You want your character to be on a solid foundation, you know, because every day is a test. Every day is a trial. You know, every day we get up, we go out into the world and we see new faces. You know, we're encountering new scenarios, new situations. And these scenarios and situations always tend to find a way to challenge you. They always tend to find a way to challenge your integrity, your power. And you have to learn to change that. And it is what it is. Be easy. I'm not going to be one of those people who are going to tell you like, oh, you know, yeah, if you start now, you know, you'll be done by tomorrow. No, you know, this is definitely like a work in progress. You know, it's something that you're going to want to try to see it through to the end, because that's going to determine, like I said, your character. You know, being able to bounce back from things is called resiliency. You know, when we find ourselves to be more resilient, we find ourselves being much more capable towards the cause, because minor setbacks tend to not knock us off our feet, you know. And that's another thing that I've learned is that resiliency is what we must use to rebuild that character with. Is, you know, we must be able to find that at times it's going to be hard, there's going to be setbacks, there's going to be drawbacks, but you know, that shouldn't be, as I've said before, that shouldn't be the defining point for your character. Your character should be based off of how you assess your scenarios, how you come back for them, how you draw your conclusions, and how you form your synopsis. You know, that's what that's how successful character building, you know, character rebuilding, you know, because that's essentially what you're doing, is rebuilding your character. You know, that's how you're gonna get that to that point, is by simply making sure that your footing is strong, your placement in this world is strong. When I say placement, I mean, like, you know, we all have been at that point where we're like, you know, do I belong here? You know, is this a scenario I want to be in? You know, all of those are things that you have to ask yourself, you know. And I was always told growing up, you know, if it don't feel right, it probably ain't right. So, you know, you can make that judgment call, you know, as you feel fit. But, you know, just asking yourself those simple questions. Is this right? Should I be here? Do I like this? You know, simple things like that, you know, they give your character those polishes, as I like to call them. You know, because you might have found that the last couple months you've been finding yourself in some unsavory, unfavoring scenarios. Well, you start asking yourself those questions. Do I belong here? Is this right? Does it feel right? You know, you start asking yourself those things, and then what starts happening is you start questioning that same integrity. And that's what you want, is in those scenarios where stuff doesn't feel right, where stuff doesn't look right, it doesn't seem right, you should question that. Because, see, someone who questions that scenario, questions the integrity of that scenario, that's the person who can see the fine line. You know, that's the person who can see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, that's the person that will pull through that and live to see another day, you know, because they're not judging a book by its cover and just taking it for what it is, you know. So that's definitely a very crucial step on the character rebuilding process, is just being able to being comfortable with questioning yourself, you know, making sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do, what you want to do, what you need to do. You know, these are all things that I think, for me personally, I'll just say, you know, these are all things that I think they definitely help, you know, they definitely further the cause. But not just that, you know, another little trinket I want to throw you guys away before I start moving on to showing you guys my family. Like I said, I wanted to introduce you guys to, like, my sister, my mom. But before I get there, I mean, the last piece that I want to give you guys would definitely just have to be, it would just be, because I know I've talked about placement. So placement in this world, that's situational, you know, at least in my opinion. You know, no one knows where they're supposed to be, you know, or if you do, then, I mean, good for you. I mean, you know, for us who are still figuring it out, you know, we don't exactly know where we're supposed to be, you know. And I think our job, our duty to our character, to our person, is to ensure that placement is correct. And by placement, I mean just everything that you do in your life. Are you in the correct job? You know, is that job that you're working sufficient for you? You know, are you comfortable in your relationships? Are you happy in your marriage? You know, whatever point you may be at in your life, you have to make sure that the placement is right, because there's a time and a place for everything, you know. And you know, some people go through certain things. I know me personally, you know, not too long ago, I actually just experienced a breakup. And you know, one of the things that it showed me was that, the very first thing it showed me was that I don't need anyone for anything. You know, you can do it all by yourself. You just have to be willing to tackle it by yourself. You know, you don't need someone next to you holding your hand. You know, you can do it. We can do it, you know, but we have to be ready to do it. That's the thing, you know, and that's what I'll get to in a later video, is the preparation. You know, you have to be prepared for those things in life, those curveballs that come your way that you might not have been expecting, but yet still receive. You know, and these are all very, very crucial elements, at least in my opinion. You know, everybody has their own opinion. I'm not telling anybody what they should do with their life. You know, these are all suggestions. You know, I'm in no position to judge anybody, so I'm not placing a stigma on anybody. I'm not saying, you know, I know anybody's situation. I just personally think that out of everything that I've seen, everything that I've done, everything that I've experienced, I think that's one of the most crucial and most detrimental starting points, though, is, you know, your placement and your preparation and your integrity. You know, those are, like I said, those are all a part of rebuilding your character, which is where I want to start. You know, because when something's damaged, when something's broken, you know, people feel like there's no turning back. They feel like there's no answer, there's no solution. They feel like, oh, well, if it's broke, just leave it broke. No, I personally am a firm believer that just because someone is broken, or just because someone's down on their luck, or just because things seem a little too hectic, there's always still an avenue, there's always still a door. And that's what you have to tell yourself. You have to tell yourself that you are willing to see it through to the end. You are willing to fight for that cause, because, I mean, if you don't, then you'll never know. You know, and that's one of the worst things in life, is like not knowing. You know I'm not the only one who feels that way. We all feel like we wish we knew. Well, wouldn't it just be nice if this is the one thing in your life that you can have an understanding of, you can have a knowing of, is who you are. You know, that's the first place to start. You know, you can't do anything in this world, you can't go anywhere if you don't know who you are. You gotta have characterization, and that's the footing that I'm gonna start with, where everything is rebuilding your character and getting yourself back to the point that you envisioned yourself at, or the point that you want yourself to be at, because I know firsthand what it feels like. So we're definitely, that's where I want to start, is character rebuilding. And, you know, just taking those necessary steps in the pre-stages of getting everything back to where you want it to be, so that you feel comfortable, you feel right, you're in the right state of mind, and that so that when you actually go out into the world and when you're doing things, you don't feel out of place, you don't feel out of pocket, you don't feel unwanted, you don't feel unloved, because you made yourself fit. That's what you got to do. You want to find some placement in this world, you got to take it. That's the easiest way to kind of just sum that all up. But you know, that's pretty much all I got for right now. I'm gonna edit in this video with another one. I'll just take a quick one. I'll show you guys my car. I'll show you guys you know, like I said, my mom and my brother. My brother's at school right now, so when he gets home, I'll wrap all that up. But yeah, and I really appreciate whoever takes the time out of their day to listen to this video. I really do, because, you know, that shows me that, you know, what I say and what I do is not taken for granted. It's not all a waste, you know. So for whoever decides to take the time out of their day and listen to this, or the group of people or whoever, I appreciate you. I hope that you guys do subscribe and link in when I finally get this page up and going. And like I said, I mean, stay tuned, guys. Like, you know, I've got so much to share, so much to tell, so much to show, so much to do. You know, we all do. And so that's what I want, is I want to take a journey, I want to take a trip to success, and I want to take you guys with me. I want everybody to see and feel the revolution, the change. I want everyone to feel it. I want everyone to see it. So I appreciate everybody for watching, for tuning in, the whole nine. Like I said, it's more to come, and this is just the beginning. But I do appreciate you guys. Listen, start it, man.